Hi guys! So, I did try and do a reading vlog for this one. I filmed everything, but I've had issues editing, so I have finished Nicola Yoon's Instructions for Dancing. It was just so sweet. I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Or love it, love it, love it. As I said in one of those clips, which you'll probably never see, unfortunately. I said in one of those clips that I started to sound like the judge on a professional bake-off by saying love it, love it, love it. But I really did. It's just a sweet romance and so many questions about race, body type, being confident about who you are, questions about love, about falling in love, is it worth it, and that kind of thing. And oh, loved it, loved it. Anyway, that is that one. And I also want to talk about David Yoon's Frankly in Love, because this is the book that I read before Instructions for Dancing. And again, a lovely book, romance that, to be honest, I personally found predictable. So he's in love with a girl, his parents won't approve, so he supposedly fake dates another girl to fool his parents, but in the process, obviously they fall in love with each other and things happen. But there was something at the end of this book that just made me cry, and oh, there was a quote that I had to quote in here because it felt like something that I would say, and yeah, hit the nail on the head. So, what I'm currently reading at the moment is, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but The Growing Pains of Adrian Mole by Sue Townsend. Now, I knew nothing about this book. Not a Scooby. Not a Scooby-Doo. If you were like me as a kid and used to be glued to Scooby-Doo, you would get it. But, yeah, I found it in our local bookshop. Clearly it's an old vintage copy without a dust jacket. And as soon as I picked it up and started reading it, I was laughing. I was laughing hysterically. It's clearly a book of its time, so you've got to be aware of that if you do decide to pick this up. It's not going to be for everybody, I appreciate that. But it's just following a young teenage boy and his thoughts about the world and about girls and about his parents and about ways of life, about school, about the future. And it's quite funny as well as I guess tragic in some ways as well when you look at it that way. But yeah, I'm also getting through my audiobook, which is George Orwell's 1984. It's really starting to get interesting now. There's more references to the Thought Police, more references to the Brotherhood, more references to the screen, so the Big Brother kind of vibes, and I guess the kind of Simpson movies vibes, which I also mentioned in the footage that you'll probably never see. And yeah, I'm not a big Simpsons fan, but as soon as I started 1984 audiobook, I immediately thought of the Simpsons movie and the environmental presidents appearing on that big screen when they're enclosed in that dome. Oh dearie me. Right, get on some reading. I'll update you soon. I forgot to say that before I started listening to George Orwell's 1984, I listened to H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds and finished that a few days ago now, I think. And as I mentioned before in the footage that you'll unfortunately never see, me and science fiction don't have a we have a difficult relationship, me and science fiction. But I found that the author of this, or the narrator of this audiobook was very good for me. And I think the narrator of this audiobook actually made me stay with it. So I think that's what made me stay with it. I'm not sure if I persist with this book if it hadn't been for that narrator. And I say narrator in inverted commas because narrator is a character in War of the Worlds, a literal narrator. I don't know if his actual name is actually mentioned in the book. I could be wrong and I just didn't pay enough attention. But yeah, by the way, I'm sorry if you find this angle annoying. I'm starting to get a bit of a headache, so that's why I'm lying down like this. But I wanted to update you and say that I did read or listen to H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. I'm just here to talk to you about a very kind #gifted, kind of. It's where I got this necklace from. I believe this is how you pronounce it, Vivian Duofont. They reached out to me on Instagram and wondered if I would be interested in advertising some of their products. So they are a company that sell swimwear, underwear, lingerie, and of course jewellery. I picked this, I don't know if you can see it on camera. It's a rose hanging upside down by the chain. I picked it because it reminded me of Beauty and the Beast. Also for the reasons that my mind was at that moment. It was coming up to an anniversary of a death within the family. But also I thought it would be a good necklace to wear at weddings as well, because I know I've got, COVID permitting, I've got a wedding coming up in November, so I thought that might be quite nice to wear at a wedding. It's rose gold. The camera and the lighting might not make that clear, but it's rose gold. And basically you can get yourselves a discount on any of their products too. If you go to vivianduofont.com, you will basically be able to see all their products that they have online. Use my code Glitter Gems, you'll be able to get 40% off of your first order. Hi lovely people, I'm here to say that I have finished an audiobook. I have finished George Orwell's 1984 and I'm not quite sure what to think about it, because the ending was strange and I kind of lost the plot a little bit as it got towards the end. We know by, I forget which chapter it is, but we know by a certain point that they get caught by the Fort Police, they get arrested by the Fort Police. It was definitely thought-provoking, don't get me wrong, because the title was 1984, and it talks about war, it talks about like the Gulf and everything, and obviously there was a war. I forget the name of the particular war that was going on around about that time, but there definitely was a critical war going on at that time, and particularly in the Gulf. Definitely my history is awful. Apologies to all my history teachers who have taught me. I sincerely apologise that I haven't retained any of the information that you have given me over the years on that subject anyway. But yeah, so it is very thought-provoking on how a human being can think. Is there a such thing as free speech? Is there such thing as an original idea? And it's quite creepy, actually, when you think about that and you think about really deeply into it. But yeah, I finished that one, and because I was so deep thought into kind of like that, really books that really made you think, I needed something that would just kind of make me feel a bit more upbeat. So I started reading Noel. Oh, I forget his last name. Noel Streadfeild. I'm sure I've got his last name wrong. Noel Streadfeild's Theatre Shoes. He is the author of Ballet Shoes, the ever famous book and also slash film. I think it's 3 children we've been introduced. We've been introduced to Holly, Mark, and somebody's. What is it with me in names in this video clip? I don't know. I don't know what it. I don't know what's going on, people. I don't know. But we're introduced to. I think it's Sabeling or Sable or something like that. It sounds something similar like that. We're introduced to her. We're introduced to Mark. We're introduced to Holly. This is on the brinks of in the middle of World War II, and whose mother and father have died. They live with their granddad, who sadly has now recently died, and it's basically them travelling to London to be with their grandmother, who they are now going to live with. That's as far as what I've got up to. I'm only like 5% in the audiobook, so who knows what's going to happen. Hi lovely people, I'm here to say that I have finished an audiobook which is Theatre Shoes by Noel Streadfeild. I still can't pronounce his last name, I'm terribly sorry. But I really enjoyed this book. It is what I needed right now, but what I did love particular about this book is that it kind of carried on from Ballet Shoes. So as I said before in this vlog, Noel Streadfeild, I'm so sorry, was the author of Ballet Shoes, which I read ages ago, and yeah, it kind of carried on. It's a different set of children, but different same circumstances, and the children in Ballet Shoes have now gone off and are now having successful careers, and the 3 children that are now focused on in Theatre Shoes are now corresponding with those 3 grown-ups now, you could say, that were the children in Ballet Shoes, which I absolutely loved. I think the only difference that I can think of right now is that in Ballet Shoes there were 3 sisters, and in this one, Theatre Shoes, there were 2 sisters and a brother. So still a trio. And in Ballet Shoes we had Pauline, Petrova, and I can't remember the last name, but we had somebody else as well. Pauline. And in this one we have Mark, Holly, and Sorrel is the other girl, whose name I couldn't pronounce previously. Me and names are terrible in this vlog. I've been so bad at pronouncing names, so apologies for that. But I finished Theatre Shoes, really enjoyed it. Really lovely, sweet book. Yeah, and they kind of go off in their own little directions, I guess, and possibly some you would expect and some that you wouldn't expect, I guess. It depends how quickly you pick up on things, I guess. And it depends on your point of view of this book altogether, I think. But I really enjoyed this book, and I know in my book wish list on Amazon I've got a few more of the same author's books there, so I might go on and read some. I've just ordered a tablet which I am specifically using for ebooks. I was just editing this vlog and realised I forgot to do a wrap up. So what I read in this vlog was George Orwell's 1984. I mentioned that I read H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, and Noel Streadfeild's Theatre Shoes. So 3 audiobooks. But I'm going to end the vlog here. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you want more. And yeah, hope to see you all soon. See you later.